DAR Sports Media. We're back from the holidays. We're going to do a little bit of a recap of a catch up here because we missed so much the last couple of weeks. We're going to do NFL and college football tonight. A smiling ear to ear Lee Harvey, obviously from last week.
God damn.
Plus all kinds of other things going on. I mean, I think that played out well for everybody because, everybody, SEC world was crying about their selections of teams. And then who went out there and had their cheeks turned the reddest? It was a fucking SEC team. So get not only an SEC team, but an SEC team that beat Bama. So fucking goodbye. Kiss my ass. Fuck you. Roll your ass straight the fuck up out of my face. But before we get all to that, because we're going to do some game picks to end things. Because these fucking games are coming up, man. It's going to be before the next time we record. I was like, oh, maybe we can wait till next. Nope. Because this shit's coming up fast. And I, for one, am very happy about that. So we'll do that at the end of the pod. NFL. Right now, since it's been a couple of weeks, it's kind of getting into a little bit into the late edge of the season. I'm just going to go with you guys. What's the biggest thing that you're taking away right now? What are your thoughts here as we wind on down to the end of the season? I guess here's one I'll ask because I saw some splintering, some different opinions flying around about this the other night. I feel like every week we're like, oh, that's it. MVP conversation is over, but it's switching back and forth between Josh Allen and fucking Lamar Jackson. My thing, and maybe this isn't, maybe we'll go pure meritocracy but like, damn, we brought this up before. There's only been like 3 people who have ever won 3 MVPs, 3 or 4. And we're really ready to put Lamar in that class when he ain't won a fucking thing. That's kind of my question. Whereas Josh Allen has been this dude for years and hasn't won one. And I know that's kind of a shitty reason to be like, well, he hasn't won one, so let him have it. But I think when you have 2 candidates that are so worthy, that might be a valid conversation to have. Axe, we'll go to you, man, since you're the Ravens guy, the Ravens expert here. What do you think, man?
Well, honestly, the way Lamar's playing, like 3,900 passing yards, 850 rushing yards, like 39 passing touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. I mean,
the 4 interceptions is fucking crazy. Like the total touchdown to interception ratio is fucking ridiculous, man. My gosh,
those numbers is really hard to deny.
Yeah,
but I think the media is probably going to get voters fatigue and try to push for the Josh Allen, Joel Embiid type of MVP award. I can see that marinating. Once I saw the report last week, like, oh, he got a broken hand. He been playing through a broken left hand since week 4. And I was like, all right, I see the play. And then they called his interception an arm punt. I was like, all right, now. I see what y'all trying to do. Honestly, like, our schedule's been really tough this year. We played, like, a plethora of playoff teams. We do have 2 bad losses to the Raiders and Browns, but outside of that, we played a playoff team damn near every week.
43 total touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Jeez, so fucking criminy. The thing is, and this is something that I brought up and I've heard brought up, we've seen the Ravens win without him. I think the Ravens might have a similar record with Josh Johnson.
Absolutely not.
You cannot say that about the fucking Bills and their backup quarterback situation.
Trubisky at this point is slightly better than Josh Johnson at this point. I'm not saying by a lot, but
that is I can't believe you said that right in front of True.
I mean, they both. I mean, I really don't have anything to say on that. Like, honestly, I don't have anything to.
Man, Lamar wasn't playing, man. Ravens would be picking in the top 10, bro. I can't go for that. I mean, I understand. That's just my opinion. I can't go for that. I can't co-sign. That's a negative, Ghost Rider. Like, nah, man. The Bills, they've had a weak schedule. You got 2 terrible fucking teams in their division with the Jets and the not the Dolphins, the Jets and the Patriots. The Dolphins, they're pretty mid. Without Tua, they're terrible. So it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like we had the tougher division. We had the tougher schedule. I personally would rather Lamar just go into this playoff run with 2 MVPs and then just get the Super Bowl win. That's really what I'm focused on as a Ravens fan. I haven't really been in the whole MVP talks like that because, like, if we was to fall short, they'd be like, oh, he got 3 MVPs and no playoff success. And I don't want to hear that shit.
You've ran this play before, right? You've done the MVP and then lost in the playoffs. It doesn't really taste very good.
Yeah, that was the case last year. I was like, I'm glad I got the 2. Remember I said on last year's show, I was like, yo, I'm cool with the MVPs, but like the media is going to destroy him if we don't get to the Super Bowl and win it. So at this point, like if he gets 3, it's going to be more and more pressure on him. I mean, it would be justifiable if he had more MVPs and playoff wins. That would look a little bit crazy, to be honest. But it's just like, this is the best version of Lamar that I've seen with decision making, with the running, the passing. He just like leveled up. He's in his prime right now. People forget he's only 27, so still plenty more time to go. But like, I don't know. Stats say Lamar. I just got a feeling they're going to give Josh Allen that Joel Embiid sympathy MVP. I just got that feeling.
What do you think, True? MVP.
Hold on. Can y'all hear me? Just want to double check. All right, cool. I had like 2 calls come in while I was make sure I didn't mess anything up. I'm gonna go Lamar personally. I'm not a Josh Allen guy, so I hear what people are putting down. I'm just not on the train of, and I think Lamar these last couple games is kind of. I think it was close, and I think based on what I've seen, I would still lean, Lamar personally. Lamar went out there and slaughtered the Texans. Josh Allen didn't, not that it's a comparison like, oh, played these teams better or not. It's just one person struggled, the other person completely washed the other. I mean, that could also be because there's some injuries or some problems obviously happening with the Texans. The Texans don't look as amazing as they might have looked last year, which is
what a letdown, man.
But at the same time, if that is the case, then Bill should have been able to wipe the floor with them too. So I'm not, I'm not taking anything away from Josh Allen. He is an amazing quarterback. Outside of the fact that, he got to see me in the streets for the woman he just got engaged to. That's my lady. But outside of that, we, I don't have anything bad to say about him. I just think this year, but it's like for Lamar, it is a voter fatigue thing. I think when you're so great in a regular season, it does kind of, but I mean, Peyton Manning also was great regular season and took him a while to get to some postseason success. So, I mean, could that be the same trajectory for Lamar? I would love to see Lamar win a championship. That's the only thing missing from his resume. So, but I don't know. I think what he's doing is phenomenal. And I think you can't take away from what he's doing. And you can't take away from Josh Allen either. Josh Allen they're both the centerpieces of their teams. I mean, obviously, Derrick Henry obviously is a great option to have too. Not comparing James Cook to Derrick Henry because I'm not going to do that. But James Cook has been solid too as well. So I think they are very, very close. I'm gonna just go with Lamar because I just never seen nobody do the shit that Lamar does on the field. He just surpassed Vic. He just surpassed Mike Vick. I mean, that's crazy. Like I don't think we ever thought that would happen. So,
I'm giving Alex credit for one thing. His receiving core isn't that strong. Like Amari Cooper hasn't really delivered like that.
But is it stronger than Lamar's though?
I don't think it might be. I don't think either of them have a strong receiving core.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I just don't know if you can make that an argument in either direction. Who's got the advantage there?
But I don't know. Like I say that because we saw Gabe Davis go down to Jacksonville and do nothing, and he made Gabe Davis look really good. So I'm gonna give him credit.
I mean, Gabe Davis. I didn't really. I say Gabe there. I don't know.
Allen elevates receivers, yo. I don't want to sound like I'm a Josh Allen hater. Like his core ain't that strong. Amari hasn't really done that much there. Keon Coleman's solid, but
You know who had Amari Cooper looking good though? You know who had him looking good last season? Old Joe Flacco had him looking solid last season. So I mean, hey, Josh Allen, you know what I'm saying? Joe Flacco doing something you can't do, which I mean, Joe Flacco is a champion, so he's been doing things you can't do, Josh Allen. And that's not, once again, I think Josh Allen's a great quarterback. Once again, he just got to see me in the streets for Haley Steinfeld. That's all. That's all I'm saying. He's got.
What do you got there, Lee Harvey? Any dissent here? Are we going to get one? Is this recency bias? Because we just saw fucking Lamar Jackson come down the chimney and take all the fucking presents and throw his feet up on the couch in the fucking Texans' house right on Christmas Day.
All of that. I agree with both of y'all. I don't see any way you couldn't give it to Lamar. All the stats, the wins, the couple of moments where he outdueled Joe Burrow. I mean, he's got. I don't have any voters fatigue on Lamar getting his third MVP. Now, once again, he does have to prove it in the playoffs, but if he does, he's going to have to go through Mahomes in Arrowhead, and that's a tall task within itself.
All right, so just to summarize the action and going forward, just around the room, we're going to do your Super Bowl favorite and a possible sleeper from both conferences. X, AFC, Super Bowl favorite.
Oh, I'm going to be biased as a motherfucker. I ain't
gonna just back it up. That's okay.
Like
why?
Coming out the bye week, we've had 3 straight double-digit wins against 2 of the teams are playoff teams, and the defenses look much better since we put our Darius Washington back there to swap him out with Marcus Williams. Him and Kyle Hamilton been holding shit down. Offense is in a really good rhythm. Zay Flowers, shout out to 1,000-yard season. Mark Andrews, he looks back, even though he looks slow as a motherfucker on that 67-yard reception. But he's back as far as being effective. Lamar's in a whole nother zone, locked in. He told Marlon Humphrey he don't want to be on no more IG lives at all. Like, leave him alone with that shit till they get to the Super Bowl. Marlon Humphrey has been playing much better, locking shit up. Trey White, he's been a good pickup. Swapped out the linebackers, Chris Board for Trenton Simpson. Like, more veteran presence, better coverage, better reading the gaps. Our run defense is still strong. The pass rush is looking good. Shout out to Kyle Van Noy and Odafe Owe finally reaching his potential, getting a lot of sacks. He's having a career year. So I think the defense is rounding into form. Offense playing a high level. Justin Tucker, he done got his shit together post-bye week. So I like how we're playing right now. As far as the sleeper, I don't believe in the Chargers at all. I don't believe in the Broncos if they get there. So I guess Buffalo will be the sleeper. Like, Buffalo's still a quality team. So if I was to say that, my pick out the NFC is Detroit Lions. I feel like despite the injuries, they're still a really, really good fucking team. Still play at a high level.
Woo! Generational gambling opportunity on Monday night, everybody. You better tease. They're only 3.5-point favorites against the 49ers. You better tease that motherfucker up to 10.5. That's what I'm doing. Because this is going to be, you've seen what they've done to teams like the Cowboys and these other teams who they didn't even have any sort of fucking vendetta against. That there was no, after what the 49ers did to them last year, they're going to come in there. They're going to get up by 40. They're going to start taking Make-A-Wish kids out of the fucking crowd and running trick plays and getting them touchdowns. They're going to lift them up so they can dunk over the goalpost. They're going to fucking bust a fat fucking load in them on Monday fucking night. It is going to be fucking crazy. Tease that thing up to 10.5. Get with it.
Your team's not going to have any pride going into that game.
They don't have any pride already. What are you And now the season's over. You think now is the time when they're going to be down by 14 within the first fucking? Oh, please,
What that 40,
man, please.
What that
Brother.
49? Get that 49 aside, man. Get that 49 aside out.
Brother.
Get that 49 aside out, dog.
Now my sleeper, I want to say Philly, but I don't feel like that's really a sleeper. I got Green Bay as a sleeper. I think they're playing really good ball right now. Like Jordan Love's been
The
cooking.
ones I was going to say.
So I'm gonna say Green Bay is a sleeper for sure.
So I'll just sneak in because that was going to be one of mine, and I was going to have to cheat by doing two. But since I could just piggyback off of you, I can still just pick one when it comes around to me. Green Bay, man, defense is looking fucking tight. Pass rush is looking tight. Edgerrin Cooper, emerging star. That's what you know. It's not obviously it's not a direct comparison, but fantasy football, man, you want a solid team, but you want a couple of guys who are going to outperform what you thought they were going to be. And that's what makes championships, is that's what's going to get you to another level. And Edgerrin Cooper is becoming this emergent star who is getting hot at the right time, along with Josh Jacobs being a fucking beast on this show in the preseason. I don't know what in the wide world of fuck the Raiders are thinking about letting this dude walk, and they have no fucking identity whatsoever on offense. There you fucking go. In the past, not now because it's a quarterback award, but in the past, Josh Jacobs, this is an MVP level season. Josh Jacobs is fucking stunting on motherfuckers up there. So, yes, the Packers. I'm right with it. Jordan Love has been good enough. He's honestly been a little cheekier than I think what the commentary teams make him out to be during the games. If you know what you're looking for, he does some dumb shit sometimes, but he's good enough. And that offensive line is looking good, and that running game is looking amazing. Defense, running game, amazing home crowd. Packers, sleeper. I don't know if that's going to end up being a fucking factor of the home field, just because I don't know if they're going to be able to get past third place, but it is what it is. True. AFC Super Bowl favorite, AFC sleeper, NFC Super Bowl favorite, NFC sleeper.
I'm not going to go against the reigning defending champions, so I'll say my pick is still going to be the Chiefs. I mean,
bro, they're getting better. They're roaming. Yeah. They're rounding into form. They've been throwing up a smoke screen all this fucking time.
On the article that I wrote about contenders and pretenders or whatever I called it, I said they look like a team that's just trying to make it through healthy. Yeah. And once they got to a certain point, they can turn it up. And they have done that to a fucking amazing record. 15-1? Like that's what you coast to, and you haven't scored 30 points in any game so far this season, like at all.
Yeah,
like, so,
I posted the stat. There's 4 teams who have not scored 30 points all season. The other 3 teams have 6 wins combined. And the fucking Chiefs are 15-1. Ridiculous.
So when you look at that, like I said, the Chiefs, I mean, gotta give credit to their defense too,
and they looked all cylinders. They looked great. They whooped shit out of the Steelers on Christmas at home.
And you know, I was happy about seeing that. I was happy about anytime the Steelers lose, we all win. That's my thing. Anytime the Steelers lose, we all win. No matter who beats them, we all win. So I was happy to see that. So I would go with the Chiefs. It's hard to bet against them because if you have another level we haven't seen yet, then I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if you have another level we haven't seen yet that we've seen you get to before, that's scary for everybody involved. And you get the, you know what I'm saying, you get the bye because you don't, you know what I'm saying, you got the number 1 seed locked up. So everybody got to go through Arrowhead. So I can't help but think them. As far as a sleeper though, my bias would say the Broncos is my sleeper, but my reality is going to say I'm not going to take the Broncos. And I'm going to say, honestly, the Ravens would be a quote-unquote sleeper. I know they're,
if they're not,
Lamar, if Lamar can continue, and like the one thing is to Lamar is staying healthy. So I think that's also an issue that people sometimes don't take into consideration throughout the long. I mean, this guy is running for damn near 1,000 yards while passing for 4,000 and all these touchdowns. Like, he's putting in a lot of work. So him staying healthy and going into the playoffs, I would love to see love to see that. Honestly, I have a dream Super Bowl just because I want to see. I just want to see a 90-minute drive of a battle between two fan bases for the Super Bowl, which would lead me to my sleeper for the NFC, which is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I would love to see the Ravens and Eagles in a Super Bowl because if there's anything I know, Baltimore and Philly motherfuckers going back and forth.
You know, have a stab off. There's gonna be a fucking
I need all issue, all smoke. I need all smoke on there. But I'm gonna go with the Lions. I'm gonna go with the Lions too, though. I think the Chiefs and Lions. I kind of wanted to see that last year. Obviously, some team happened to put a wedge in that plan out in the NFC. So before I pass it off, my man Dre from the Flex Zone is in the building. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna intro him. Yeah,
my brother's in the building. So
that's why I went through the whole.
Because he's I know he's a Ravens guy, right? You're a Ravens guy, right, Dre?
Oh,
Ravens guy. Yeah, he's a Ravens guy. So.
I told you, whenever the Ravens do good, we can't find enough spots for them on this fucking show. When they're cheeky as fuck, you can't nowhere to be found. It's you got to let the Ravens look, man. It's been a hard time for the Ravens fans over the years, man. It's been tough, man. Like we have the quarterback that we've always needed, and you remember when he first became the starting quarterback, it was like a good 30-40% of the fan base that went full blown like MAGA. Like really, like they went full blown MAGA. Like I was all around. Like you hear certain shit. You go to barber shops, you hear shit. You know, people like, man, you hear what them folks saying about Lamar? He should be a wide receiver. He should be. Why don't he just be this? Why don't he be that? Like shit like that. So I think him having such a great season to me and having 2 MVPs, like, hey, man, they might not win nothing because I still got my issues with Harbaugh. I think the Flex Zone post too. How good has his coaching been today? I ain't comment on that video because I don't have nothing good to say about John Harbaugh. But like I said, the Ravens and the Eagles would be my dream Super Bowl. I wouldn't be obviously in either city to take part in any of the festivities, but I would love to just the back and forth. I got homies in Philly and obviously Baltimore, the hometown, so I would love to hear everybody shit talking in my group chat. I can't wait. I need that because the other week when they played each other, it was nothing but insanity in my group chat. So yeah, RIP to my cousin because he was the one leading it. So for sure, hell yeah. As True said, we got rolling in here special guest from the Flex Zone. We got our guy Dre. I spelled out the whole thing to True just so we could help you out. Not your NFC Super Bowl favorite, an NFC sleeper, an AFC Super Bowl favorite, and an AFC sleeper.
All right. Well, I hate to say it, but you got to give the devil their just due. The defending 2-time champion. I call them the Tribal Chiefs. If for my WWE fans,
yes, sir.
Patrick Mahomes is the Tribal Chief. He is the man right now. Him and Andy Reid. I mean, we haven't seen a duo like that since Brady and Belichick. We thought that we were out of that era of football where a team was dominating, but we're seeing it right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think that the team is unbeatable, but right now they're just the best closers right now. They know how to just close football games and just win. I know that a lot of their games this year have been won by one score, and I think that eventually that is going to actually catch up to them. So if you had to give me a sleeper, I hate to say that the Ravens are a sleeper to me because I think that that's the team that can take down the Chiefs. When you look at the playoff picture right now, a lot of people are going to say the Buffalo Bills and try to give Josh Allen the MVP. When you look at the numbers, Lamar has the better numbers. The only thing that Josh Allen really has over Lamar right now is a win-loss record that's a little better. But outside of that, and I think also but outside of that, I don't think that there's anything that you can really compel to the Ravens. So I think that would be the team to me. I hate to call them a sleeper, but that would be my AFC favorite and sleeper. In the NFC, I'm gonna say the favorite is the Eagles, and the only reason I'm saying the Eagles is because of the injuries to the Detroit Lions. They have been decimated with injuries all season, and I think that just like I was talking about the one-score victories with the Kansas City Chiefs, having that many injuries heading into the playoffs eventually is going to catch up to you. And you see that they couldn't stop the Bills in their game, and I think that can just haunt you when you take on a team like the Minnesota Vikings or the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. So, which leads me to my sleeper. Again, I hate to say that they're a sleeper, but I'm actually gonna go with the. You know what? I'm a surprise y'all. I think I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I think that last game of the season is going to tell us a lot about both teams, the Detroit Lions, and whether or not the Vikings are a true contender. I don't want to pick the Eagles because I just look. I'm from Baltimore, and true, you know how I feel about Philadelphia, man. But I just feel like this team is just going to implode at some point.
It has to.
When you see the issues with coaching, that just doesn't set right with me because it's a hierarchy, and the Eagles just don't seem to have that. As much as I have issues with my own head coach, John Harbaugh, at least there's the Ravens seem to respect him. Sirianni, it seems like it's too buddy of a coach, and like parents, and you can't be like that with your kids. You can have good relationships, but you can't be buddy with them. And when you see even the D line coach have to step in, and the way that he's talking to him, their rookie fanning off Sirianni, it doesn't set right. And I'm waiting for this team to implode at some point. So I don't trust them to go to the Super Bowl at all. And the Packers, I do like what they're doing a lot, but I feel like the Vikings, that type of record, and then Sam Darnold, he's having a second coming actually a third, because the last two teams he's been on, he's been trashed. But it shows you how good coaching can really make a difference when it comes to any athlete. We were ready to say that this guy was a total bust, but he was just in two bad organizations, the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets. And you see, even if Aaron Rodgers couldn't save the New York Jets, nobody's saving them. I don't know if Jesus himself can save the New York Jets at this point. So I'm gonna go with the Minnesota Vikings as the sleeper team for the NFC for me.
It's interesting that people would look at, and it's not a incorrect thing to call them a sleeper, because you just don't really hear a lot of people name them as a favorite. And that's what's interesting about it, is because like the record is there, the numbers are there. I think people just see the uniform, they see the name, they know the history, they see Darnold out there playing court, they just can't get with it. But like at some point, the reality is going to need to be accepted. And so I like that pick, because it's a team. They're right on the heels of the Lions record wise, but still considered a sleeper legitimately.
And then also they can still get the number one seed actually from the Lions.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, if the Super Bowl ends up being some shit like the Bills versus the Vikings, I'm gonna take me a long nap. I'm not trying to see that shit at all.
I just don't see, and I know a lot of people are like stuck on the Bills, and they're rooted for like the Bills and the Lions, so that way they can get that first Super Bowl. But I don't know. It's really weird that, because we people been saying that Josh Allen is the number 2 quarterback, and they're like, a lot of people are pulling for him, but I just don't. The one argument that people really forget with this whole MVP thing with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, Lamar beat the brakes off of the Bills. It's not like he just beat him. Like, he annihilated that
35-10.
They were saying that he couldn't beat the Steelers. He ran through them like a dude would run through a girl on Baltimore Street. Then he and then he just beat the Texans. The only thing that's really left for Lamar, well, it's two narratives. They're still saying that the whole playoff victories. He has to get over that, and the fact that he has to win a Super Bowl. To me, I think he just really has to get past the Chiefs. I think that that's the one hurdle that he has to get over. How Peyton Manning had to get over Tom Brady to finally get that chip.
Yeah.
I think that that's the same thing with the Ravens, but that's the team right there to me that can beat him. I know the Bills did it, but that was in the regular season. I need to see it in the playoffs.
I don't buy the Bills. I don't believe in the Bills. I've never believed in the Bills, and well, history shows you probably shouldn't. So with that, that's why I don't see them making a Super Bowl. I hope. I'm a hater. So I don't. Like I said, Josh Allen got to see me about Haley Steinfeld, and on top of that, I just don't think. Like I think Ax was talking about a little earlier, like their receiving core. We were talking about the receiving core. I just don't know if I trust that core in the playoffs. Whereas like Mark Andrews is old, whatever, but you got Isaiah Likely out there. You know Zay Flowers, when he wants to. I
Bateman.
don't really have Bateman. Bateman all of a sudden act like he give a damn about playing, and I think Lamar looked the fastest I've seen him against the Texans. Like that's crazy to me. Like he looked the fastest I've seen him. So I like I said, I'm gonna discuss him a little bit more.
He said he was jogging. I don't believe that, but okay.
Man, I mean, the brother said he was jogging and against the Giants. He's holding his pants up. Like, at this point, he's just playing with people.
Yeah.
So mine are, AFC. We've already kind of talked about the Chiefs. Man, it's tough for me to say, but they're like rounding into form. Like they're starting to really look like the fucking Chiefs, and people are starting to get comfortable in the offense. You got Worthy making plays. You got Hopkins making plays. Until somebody knocks them off, man, I still got to go with them. My sleeper, just to be a little bit different, I'm still sticking with it. And there's been a lot of football that has transpired since this happened, so like it's easy to forget. Yeah, True knows where I'm going because he was hurt by this. Hey man, the Chargers, they got the defense, they got the coach, they got the quarterback. Those are the things you need. As a sleeper, I'm saying, as a surprise team, I think they could come through. They almost beat the Chiefs at home, some weeks ago. I think they could surprise some teams. I think they could knock off one of the big three, everyone's favorite three. How far they're going to be able to get with, Lad McConkey as their primary offensive weapon, that's a tough one. But how many Super Bowls do we see Brady win with a bunch of garbage men as his skill players? So, great coach, great defense, stud quarterback. I would not be that surprised. NFC side, I'm excited because I got one that nobody said yet. For the favorite, man, it's tough because they're all so warty. Like, we keep wanting to like the Eagles, and then they keep having shit happen, and they keep up with the terrible vibes. I already felt that way. I've been saying that on here for weeks. I just don't trust you going through a playoff season against a bunch of elite teams and then having that shit going on in your backstage. And that was before y'all went out there against a rookie quarterback with a team that gave you 5 turnovers and could not fucking put them away. I know that Kenny Pickett came in. Kenny Pickett was still moving the ball, man. 5 turnovers. You gotta reprove to me that you're a contender after some shit like that. 5 turnovers and you can't get the job done. And I know Jaden Daniels is special. He's not your normal average rookie, but he's still a rookie. This is a team that was picking in the top 3 for a reason, and they give you 5 turnovers and you could not fucking put them away. You got to show me again, my sleeper, and I promise. It's going to happen. This team is going to beat one of the top 3. They're going to beat either the Eagles, the Lions, or the Vikings. The LA Rams have a fucking future Hall of Famer quarterback, have one of the best play callers that are going to be in the playoffs. They have the top 2, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson might be better, but arguably the best receiver tandem in the fucking league when they get hot. Kyron Williams is an incredible do-it-all player. They're starting to work Blake Corum into the backfield a little bit, which is something I said in the offseason. It took a little longer to happen than I thought it was going to happen, but he's starting to bring a little bit of punch to that offense, in addition to Kyron Williams being fucking amazing about everything. The plan with the Rams was they were going to play a bunch of young guys on defense. The offense was going to carry them, and the defense was going to get reps, going to get experience, and then they would be cooking by the end of the season. Everybody in the offense got hurt, and so that plan didn't work out. So you had all these young guys getting reps, getting their asses whooped, and the offense was not able to carry them the way it needed to, and that's why they racked up all those losses. Now we're seeing that effect, though, with the defense. Their pass rush is fucking ridiculous. That dude, Kobe Turner, is fucking ridiculous. That guy almost single-handedly ended the 49ers fucking season.
Yeah.
You got him. You got Jared Verse. Brandon Fiske. You got the other cat, Young, on their pass rush. That defense is starting to sizzle. The pass rush is getting going. I have complete confidence in the offense. Things looked a little bit clunky this weekend, but that was not an easy game, man. Like, it's across the country. It's an early start. It's a get caught looking ahead game, because the Jets are supposed to suck, but the Jets have talent. They were a Super Bowl contender at the beginning of the year for a reason. They came across the country. They had to battle it out. They won that game. The Rams have shown you that they can win any type of game, because they beat the Niners in a fucking slugfest defensive battle in the rain. The week before that, they outscored the Bills, who everyone fucking loves. The Rams. Remember it. You heard it here first. Who do you got there? Go ahead.
I'm with you. I actually had the Rams, but I wanted to be a little different and say the Vikings, but the Rams are actually my pick. I've been saying that on my podcast all season. I said that I viewed the Rams as a team that I felt could make it to the NFC Championship for the very that you said. Like you said, defensively, they can really still hang. They run the football. They have an experienced both head coach and quarterback. And though they're a young team, coaching matters and experience matters. And I felt like this is a team that could do it. But like you said, injuries really decimated them. So, and a lot of people would not really pick them because, like you said, they racked up some losses. But when you look at their wins, especially like you said, when they took on the Buffalo Bills, that told a lot. I think, and I think that the injuries just hurt their record wise. But you see that they're leading the division, a division that everybody picked San Francisco to run away with, and you see San Francisco's not even making the playoffs. And so with the Seahawks, the Cardinals being eliminated, and the Rams are getting hot at the right time, just like you said. I think that's a team that would, to me, I see why you picked them as a sleeper, but to me, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it that far because of all the things that you have said.
Yeah, absolutely. When they get cooking, when that offense gets rolling, when McVay is in his bag, when fucking Stafford's doing no-look passes and is really in rhythm, when those receivers are working for each other, brother, you can't fuck with it. Ask the Bills about it. You think the fucking Detroit defense, the way it looks right now, is going to go out there and do anything with them? Do you think the Eagles, with all the problems they're having, 5 turnovers, can't beat somebody? They're going to fuck with the Rams? You'll see. You're going to see. Oh,
we're going to get a Chiefs and Rams Super Bowl. Watch. That'd be some shit. I can see that.
Wow. Yeah.
Lee, what about you, man? Sleeper and contender on both sides.
AFC contender, Kansas City, until further notice. Like we've all said, they've gotten better these last 2 games in a short span. By the way, they were within 4 or 5 days of each other. That their offense is starting to click. And you already know the defense. They're number 1 in points allowed per game. AFC sleeper, I don't know. Because the AFC is kind of top heavy.
It is. It's tough.
It's Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, and then whatever else down there. But I would say Bills as a sleeper. I know they were looked at the favorites a couple weeks ago, but I would think Josh Allen in the playoffs would have to be Superman at that stage just to help them win and move on into the AFC Championship and maybe the Super Bowl. NFC contender, Lions. I don't trust their defense, but their offense, they haven't seen anyone that could stop that Detroit offense yet.
Yeah.
And that's without Knuckles. That's without David Montgomery.
Yeah.
He's going to be back shortly. My NFC sleeper is the Vikings because Sam Darnold's having a career year. Aaron Jones is quietly having a decent year.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, other than Chase, Jefferson is that guy at receiver. And Addison's not a bad number 2. And Minnesota's defense, they look like
very underrated.
Those are the top 2, man. Top 2 receivers right there.
Yeah. They don't they lead? I think they lead the league in interceptions with like 30 or 31.
They've been fucking cooking, bro. Spagnuolo, he gets all this attention down there in KC. Brian Flores is having a fucking ridiculous season up there coordinating that Vikings defense. Absolutely.
Yeah, give him another head coaching job.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Ain't gonna get one because he sued them folks, man.
Does he still have that lawsuit?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad you're smiling and laughing because we're gonna move on to something else that makes you happy. We're gonna get into the football portion of our show. I mean, kind of because we're not gonna recap the game too much. We're just gonna move on to. All right, so fucking Tay couldn't show up to pull the water here. OSU Oregon, man. Are we going to get a different result this time?
Yeah.
Out there in the Rose Bowl. God damn, beautiful thing. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I do feel different. I feel a lot more I feel a lot better about this second time around than the first time, more importantly, because it's a neutral site. We're not playing in Autzen. It's in the Rose Bowl. The capacity should be even because Ohio State fans have traveled to the Rose Bowl before.
Yes.
And Oregon's been there before
the
too.
Second most unbearable fan base. They will fucking be there.
Yeah, and I just want to give credit to Jack Sawyer and JT Tuimoloau. They gave Nico hell.
They look like they were not pleased with that fucking Michigan result. They were fucking on fire out there. The whole team looks like they had their fucking attitude adjusted by that game. Seeing that flag get planted. It's a fucking dangerous looking situation.
Yes, sir. And if they can play like that against Dylan Gabriel, he will not be comfortable in that pocket. And also, those Oregon defensive backs, they couldn't cover Egbuka or Jeremiah in the first game, so I don't expect them to fare any better this time around.
No, man, they were fired up. No fucking mercy. Tennessee, they had that dog, that hand dog. They had the dog out there in a sweater, looking fucking miserable. Didn't care. Dog had a sweater on. Didn't care. Whoop the dog shit out of them. Axe,
Yes,
what's your pick, man? Oregon, Ohio State.
I don't know. It's going to be a tough battle. I think Ohio State probably gets their revenge. Oregon's been tough all year, but I wasn't really impressed with their game against Penn State, to be quite honest with you. I felt Ohio State's a better team from the first matchup, and it wasn't like Oregon watched them the first time. Right. That was like a tough battle in the first game. So
yeah, and they had home field advantage.
Yeah. So I think I might have to roll with Ohio State. I think they get building on some good momentum. And quickly about last week's game, teams need to stop coming out with their shirts off and then get washed. That whole shit like every team that do that, they losing by double digits every time. Like, but yeah, Ohio State's playing great ball, man. Defense locked in, offense locked in. They had a slip up against Michigan, but like the good has outweighed the bad all season. I think they get revenge against Oregon, but it's going to be a competitive game. I could see it being a single-digit game like it was last time. It was easily one of the best games of the year, and I can see a repeat of that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. But I got Ohio State by like either 3 or 7, most likely.
Wow, Tay is this is gonna be fun when he listens to this back and he's on the show next week. True, what do you think, man? Ohio State, Oregon in the Rose Bowl. What you pick?
I could pick none. I would, because that's Tay's people and that's Lee's people. I don't want to pick anything of you motherfuckers at all. Hate your guts, but I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I just think so far, from what I've seen, they are rounding into top form. I've had a couple slip ups, but I think the mark of a great team is being able to come back from taking those slip ups and those mishaps and getting even better. And what they did last week, absolutely slaughter. And with that, I feel like I don't know, maybe it's they say, right, it's hard to beat a team multiple times in 1 year anyway. Also, so I think that could definitely come into play. I mean, anytime you're motivated by obviously going into a bowl game for one, but also against a team that got one up on you already, you're going to take that game even more seriously. So I think because of that, I'm going to go Ohio State. I'll never, ever choose Ohio State for anything again, Lee. So please appreciate this moment.
I will.
Take a picture, because never happened again.
Oh my gosh, Dre, are you going to make this a clean sweep, man, for the panel? Ohio State over Oregon? No, he said no.
No,
I'm with you. I'll explain why in a minute.
I can't make it a clean sweep. True, you had talked about beating a team multiple times, but this actually happened to Oregon last year when Michael Penix came in there and beat Oregon, Bo Nix twice, and these were like really competitive games, but but Penix just had the one up. And I seen the game with the Ohio State and Oregon. I just feel like Oregon's been my pick all year, so I'm gonna die on that sword and just think that Oregon is just supposed to win it all this year. I just like what I've seen out of Oregon all year. I haven't liked what I've seen out of the Ohio State. And I feel like every year we're saying this about the Ohio State, that they're supposed to be the team of destiny. They have all the pieces. And to me, I think that they looked better last year than they did this year. You had Marvin Harrison Jr. in there, and they still couldn't get the job done. And then this year, you lose to a Michigan team. I know it's your rival, but the way that game was, that just left a sour taste in my mouth about this team winning a national championship, going back into Oregon and being able to beat that team. I just don't see that happening. So I'm going to pick Oregon right now to make it over the Ohio State.
So I'm a little bit with you, man, because, you talked about, or Lee talked about, wasn't that impressed with how they looked against Penn State. You know who else wasn't that impressed about how they looked about at Penn State? Oregon and their coaching staff. I've talked about it before on here, and all of us, I believe, have played organized sports at a pretty high level. Some of us coach at organized sports at a pretty high level. Sometimes the games that you're supposed to whoop ass in and you kind of don't, those are worse weeks of practice afterwards than the fucking games you lose, because your coaches think you fucking dogged it. So they think you're getting full of yourself. So those boys might have been in fucking hell for the last 2 weeks, might have refreshed their level of motivation coming into this game. They have been the best overall team this whole time. They kind of sleepwalked through that game with Penn State, and I believe they will be motivated. I cannot pick a team over them until they show that they can be beaten. Oregon is the best overall team. I think they're going to win this game. That's how it is on me. Following up that, damn it, Texas, Arizona State, very interesting here. Texas, let Clemson kind of hang around a little bit. I'm looking for reasons here, fellas. Texas kind of let them hang around a little bit, as we have all discussed, and it's kind of becoming a normal point of discussion among the masses. It's Quinn Ewers thing. I don't know over the long haul, man, over these playoffs. They might have just should have went ahead and just put Arch in there and had him. He'd have been nice and salty by this time. He'd have had his reps under him. We watched Clemson go the whole way with a true freshman quarterback, with Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I think this time next year, there's a very good chance we could be looking back on this and saying Texas wasted a championship roster, showing loyalty to Ewers.
I hope so.
But right now, I can't pick Texas or Arizona State over them. Much as I still advocate Cam Skadaboo should have been up there for the Heisman. At least should have gone to the ceremony. I love the job that coach has done. It's just not going to be enough. I think Texas is gonna win. Lee, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'll take Texas. Look, Quinn Ewers didn't have to do much against Clemson because that run game was unbelievable with Wisner and Blue.
Man, it had me. I was in the United Football Media chat asking our Clemson backer, where the fuck do they get these guys that y'all got on Clemson defense? This is fucking insane. This is fucking insane. I have never seen those. Were like coach me clips. Like if you day one with your 7th grade football team, you want to show somebody how to not pursue the ball and how to not fill a lane to make a tackle. Those fucking clips are what it was fucking crazy. Oh.
Yeah, gave up almost 300 yards of rushing. But yeah,
it's the manner in which they did it. You had people just, people were online in the reviews. They said this pursuit angles and this tackling in NCAA CFB 25, the video game. This is fucking bullshit. This is unrealistic. God. Go ahead and watch that Texas Clemson game. Tell me it's fucking unrealistic after that. Lie again. Axe, who do you got, man?
I don't know. Texas, they're really tough to read, man, in all honesty. And Arizona State's been playing
milk carton status sometimes.
Yeah, Arizona State's been playing some good ball. Quinn Ewers really hasn't done anything to help out his draft status. I'm hearing he's going to stay an extra year. I still understand he's COVID years.
Not in fucking Texas, he ain't.
No, he's going to jump in the portal. He's jumping in the portal.
Oh, I'm about to say he has to. He cannot.
That's what's going to be crazy too. And this is more for the college football show in a couple of weeks. That's what's crazy too. They're going to throw away this fucking season showing loyalty to him. He's going to jump in the portal.
That's what I heard.
Well, he doesn't have a choice. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
No, you good. Arizona State's playing really good ball, man. I really like their coach, and they got some good momentum and a good culture down there. Mm-hmm. I want to pull for Arizona State just off of like their coach, the running back, and just how they moving. I think Texas might have a little bit too much talent. I'm hoping it's not like a SMU Penn State repeat. That's the only thing I hope. I just hope it's competitive and the team doesn't look outmatched. I'm going to go with Texas just because I think they got a little bit too much talent. But Arizona State won't fight, though. They ain't going to get washed, I don't think.
We keep saying it, so I just want to make sure it gets said. Arizona State head football coach Kenny Dillingham, 34 years old, young in the game, but he's a bad dude. It's unfortunate, there's a factor in pro sports. It's called the nobody believes in this factor. You talk about it all the time, but that really, it's more of a factor when the talent levels of the two teams are close, which is in pro football. That can push you over. It doesn't work as often as college football just because you have so many levels to this. But hey, it's a lot more parity in college football these days. So who knows? Old Kenny Dillingham's going to have those guys ready to fucking run through a wall. I know that. And maybe it'll be the same wall that the Texas offense seems to smash up against so very often. Dre, what do you think, man? Texas, Arizona State.
Well, I'll be honest. I haven't rooted for Arizona State since they got rid of my man Herm Edwards. So
it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough look.
I know that's the business, but honestly, though, when I'm looking at Texas, I think that Texas should win this matchup. I agree with you guys about maybe they should have pulled the trigger, especially when I think back to that Texas-Georgia game when that was the time that they got the dog smack, out of them. But that was a game to really solidify Texas because remember, Texas was the number one team, and a lot of people were picking them to be the favorite to win it all, and then they just got annihilated. And that was a humbling game for Texas. But I think that at the same time, like you said, they may have shown too much loyalty, and instead of putting Manning in there, making the transition, because we all know what's to come. We know that eventually Manning has to get that start, and it has to happen next year because they can't hold on to their current quarterback. But this year, I feel like you said, they have a championship team, but that Georgia loss told me they're not quite there. While the Ohio State matchup told me that this is a team that can win it all. So I feel the opposite about Texas. I feel like they can win this game, but I don't feel like they're going to be able to win it all because of this matchup. They'll have to take on Oregon, and I feel like that's just not a good matchup for them. So I'm going to pick Texas, like I said, to win this particular game, but moving forward, I don't see them winning the national championship.
True's going to do it. He can't force himself to take Texas again.
I'll put it to you like this: it'll be a cold day in hell.
Oh my
Before
god!
I ever take the Longhorn to win a damn thing. I could be wrong, and I'm riding with this because first of all, fuck Cam, fuck PJ Tucker, fuck Kevin Durant, and anybody who went to University of Texas, fuck all of them.
Vince Young, forget him too, huh?
Yeah, for everybody. If you went to Texas, it's fuck you. Because I refuse to choose them. They might win, and logically they probably should, but nothing would make me happier. Nothing would make me happier than Arizona State beating Texas, just so I can hit the group chat or just hit the text messages and tell Cam, hey man, fuck your team. Fuck your team, nigga. Fuck them, nigga. Yeah, on everything. On everything. So
take a picture of the steak you got in front of you. You know, eat steak during the game.
like nah,
I'm a Longhorn right here.
Yeah, like nah, man, I can't. Like I said, I logically Texas probably should win, but I will never, ever support them, especially in a bowl game. Absolutely not. So Arizona State for the win.
This is one I wish Tay was here because I could just see the grin spreading over his face when we got to this one. Man, I think it's going to be time. I think y'all better watch it. This Notre Dame fucking Georgia situation. You better fucking watch it. Speaking of teams whose offenses are on the side of a milk carton sometimes, that Georgia offense goes missing regularly, and they don't have their starting quarterback. Oh, now, boy. This guy they got coming in, Gunnar Stockton, is a Gatorade Georgia Player of the Year. He's no fucking slouch. He's not a nobody. But he is the backup. And, when you've seen the way that Carson Beck has performed this year, that doesn't really speak very highly of the backup, who you could not beat out this guy because Carson Beck has sucked this year. So, with that in mind, on top of the fact that Notre Dame, this is a legitimate top 3 defense in college, I think this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. I think Georgia wheezes out here. I think Notre Dame is going to beat them. It's going to be a rock fight. It's going to be because Georgia's defense is fucking ridiculous this year too. They're a top 10 defense for sure. It's going to be tough sledding both ways, but I think this Notre Dame defense, especially with a backup quarterback, is going to – you can't win if you score no points, and I don't think they're going to score any more than none. So I think Notre Dame's going to make this happen. Lee, what do you think?
I agree. I I do think Notre Dame has more than a shot to win. Jeremiah Love is one of the more explosive players in the sport. And we all saw that on that 98-yard run against Indiana. And they got a safety and Xavier Watts, who is a future pro.
Yeah, top 10.
Yeah. And if Riley Leonard just if he can just play a clean game, Notre Dame can win.
What do you think, there, Axe?
Notre Dame got some really good momentum going on, man. The defense is tough. They hit their rhythm since they shit the bed against Northern Illinois. And I just don't believe a backup quarterback under these circumstances with a playoff game. I think the lights might be a little too bright. Now, maybe he'd come out and prove us wrong. He might pull a Cardale Jones. You never know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just got Notre Dame. I just think they're in too good of a rhythm. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, though. I don't think it's going to be a lot of points put on the board, in all honesty. Like, both teams might not go over 20 points. It's going to be one of them old-school, competitive, hard-hitting games. But I got Notre Dame coming out. Marcus Freeman and his Beijing, they going to shine. They going they going to do their thing, man. He had a pocket.
Nothing wrong with a little just for men, man.
Ever since he put it in his head, they ain't lost a game, so maybe he wants to.
Wow.
I'm feeling good.
What do you say? He put that,
chest out, shoulders back.
That midnight black in, man.
Yep.
True. Let's go. We're riding high here.
Yeah. Everybody's pretty much said everything I'm thinking already. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of watching Notre Dame's defense in action. I think it's a thing of beauty personally. And Georgia has a great defense as well, but I'm just a little bit partial. Like everybody, like you already mentioned, Georgia's coming in with a backup quarterback. I don't expect some type of surprise miracle to happen here, and they just run roughshod over Notre Dame. Notre Dame just looks like they are completely focused, and I think they have what it takes to get it done. If Georgia wins, I'd be very surprised. I think Notre Dame, this is their moment. To me, I feel like this game is their moment. Like it's just like their stamp moment, going forward. So I'm definitely gonna go Notre Dame. I don't have much to say about Georgia. Like I said, I don't see them overcoming this one. So definitely not.
Dre from the flex zone. We gonna make this a clean sweep?
Clean sweep, man.
Oh,
they said it best, man. The panel has said it that this isn't the time to have the backup guy in right now. And as much as I would like to say that, because there's history has told us before. Like I think for me, seeing Alabama do this with Jalen and Tua, it can be done, but I just don't see it happening in this situation. And also, I like what they're doing right there with Notre Dame, so I'm a roll with them. But I just feel like Georgia, as much as like you said, with the offense has already been kind of like up and down. This just isn't the time to have the backup quarterback in there right now, so I'm gonna pick Notre Dame.
The next one, I saved it to last. It's going to be the first one game up of the next set of games, but I saved it for last for a reason, because this is the DAR Sports Media Bowl coming up here, because we have had a lot to say about both of these teams. I saw somebody tweet the other day. They said, look, goddammit, the number one sign that there's too many fucking teams in this tournament is because you got James Franklin winning big games. If James Franklin's winning big games, then you got too many teams in this fucking thing.
Wow.
Boise State and Penn State. Does it get any more? Like, this is what we needed these playoffs for. One of the ultimate blue bloods who underachieves. One of the ultimate doorbusters who overachieves. Our guy Ashton Genty. is Boise State. And I will say, hey, look, man, fair enough. These last 2 games that Penn State has played, I did not know they had that in them. They fucking hung with Oregon, and they blew the fucking doors off of SMU. That turned into a bunch of fucking foolishness. That whole ACC conversation. All of y'all, get the fuck out of here. Just get the fuck out of here. Because that shit looked crazy. Are they going to be able to pull this off? Man, it's hard for me to say because Penn State has been hot, man. They've been playing like what they should, who they should be. Axe, what do we got, man?
I'm gonna put a disclaimer on that SMU game. Jennings was making some of the worst throws I ever seen from an FBS quarterback. Like some of them lollipops across the middle. They gave up like 14 points. The defense was fire. Their offense wasn't really that impressive to me in that SMU game, just to be real. Because Jennings, he was on some, he looked horrible. So, I mean, I want Boise State to win. They're going to give Genty about 30 carries like it's 2006. But
in the first half, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pulling for Boise State. I really want them to win. But I don't know. Like, I might say Penn State, but I don't think Penn State's going to watch Boise State like they did SMU. I just think Genty's going to be too much of a factor. He's going to break off a big run. But I got Penn State, in all honesty.
Yeah. Tough,
I hate to say it. I'm rooting for Boise, though. I want them to pull off another upset like it's against Oklahoma back in the day. Like they've shown they're capable to do it. So I'm pulling for it again.
True. What do you got, man?
You know, on Scooby-Doo, where the villain has the mask and they take the mask off, they reveal who they really are.
They really are.
We knew you the whole time. That's gonna be Penn State. That's Penn State, and I've said it since we started talking college. I don't believe in Penn State. I don't care what they do. I am waiting for that other shoe to drop, and I feel like this is the time that the other shoe is gonna drop. It pains me. It pains me to even consider taking Penn State as a winner here, and I think logically they have shown that they are formidable and they can wash plenty of teams. But I'm with X on the SMU. I just think SMU stinks. Honestly, to me, they just stink. Like I didn't think they were going to put up much of a chance. I think we talked about it on the show prior to. Like we were talking about it. I didn't see SMU. Like it pained me to say it, but I didn't pick SMU to defeat them. I wanted them to, but in this case, I need to see one of those Genty like 300-yard games, 3-4 touchdowns. I need to see that, and I feel like he's maybe a little refreshed going into this game too. You know what I mean? A little refreshed, you know what I'm saying? Because the wear and tear,
refreshed and maybe a little chip on the shoulder too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you know, it's like y'all didn't want to give me the Heisman. I'm about to show out on these guys, and I kind of want that chip on his shoulder, and I need this rest of the team has to just show up too. Yeah, I'm not gonna choose Penn State. I'm gonna go Boise State, but it won't be. It'll be like a one score difference. If you know, might come down to a last second field goal type situation, or last minute, you know, Genty rush for a touchdown. But I'm gonna go Boise State. Penn State eventually. Penn State always reveals who they are, really, at some point, and I think we're right there now. So waiting on that.
Dre, give us a little bit of hope here, man.
I'm picking.
Are there keys? Are there paths?
No, I'm picking Boise State.
There we go. Yeah.
I know everybody's saying Penn State, but maybe it's just because I want to see Gentry what he can do. But I also just like what I've seen out of Boise State all year. Penn State, I still have some question marks about them. They kind of like, to me, they remind me of Texas, where they should be further than what they are. But and though they've shown flashes, I still have a hard time trusting them to go far. And I just think that Boise State also with their story, and then like I just feel like there's a little bit of a chip right there when you don't get picked as the Heisman, deservedly in the conversation. But when you don't get that and you come up short of that, and this is a national stage to show up and show out, I feel like that's just one of these games for Boise State to go ahead and show people why they belong.
He's out there in the Heisman ceremony watching the dude get handed that trophy, whose girl is actively screaming at him from the fucking floor while he's on the stage.
Yeah.
Because she got a fucking music video to get to that they're shooting in a fucking diner down the street. She could twerk on a headstand on a fucking table while he sits outside the car.
Yeah.
You give that guy the fucking Heisman while I sit here with a 2,500 yard season. It's coming back with a vengeance. I like it. I just don't know who is covering Tyler Warren. Who, by the way, another guy, if I had my way, that fucking tight end from goddamn Penn State is fucking ridiculous. And he would have been at the Heisman ceremony too. That fucking dude is unstoppable and plays quarterback sometimes and fucking does whatever you want him to do. Tyler Warren, bad motherfucker. If we had like an all Madden team or sort of thing where like maybe you're not the Heisman, you're not getting a bunch of publicity, but you fucking deserve to have some sort of recognition as one of the best players in college football. Tyler Warren, 100%.
Agreed.
Who is covering him? Who is stopping Drew Aller? I got questions. Lee, who do you got in this game, man?
I got Boise State too, and
oh my gosh,
yeah, I do too. By the way, I don't know if y'all know this. They're playing in the Fiesta Bowl. They're bringing back.
Oh no!
Yeah, they're bringing back those uniforms that they wore when they beat Oklahoma. Yes, they are.
Oh, if anybody who's young on here, who's listening or on the panel, the Fiesta Bowl is where they beat Oklahoma in the biggest upset that thus far in the BCS, and also who many agree that could be the greatest college football game of all time.
Right.
It happened at the Fiesta Bowl, and they're bringing back the uniforms, the Ian Johnson on one knee uniforms.
Yes, sir. and we might get a classic Genty game with those uniforms on too. We just might.
They're gonna fucking need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say 35-28 Boise State.
Okay. Goodness gracious. Well, they're gonna need it, and what you need is to check out DAR Sports Media YouTube page. All the stuff we're back and better than ever. The full slate is back. We'll be back. Normal stuff next week. I think being true. Hopefully, some other people we're going to do a little end of year awards for a wrestling game on Sunday, and then back NFL back, college football back, everything back in action. The Medium site still crushing it, throwing up numbers, doing all of the things. Definitely check out the Medium site if you haven't already. Dre, tell us about the Flex Zone, man.
Flex Zone, man. We talk pretty much everything. We our motto is we give you sports how you want it, when you need it. Wrestling, college basketball, college football, Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL. We give it to you. We talk it all. And every Monday we go live, but we also do live streams of AEW, SmackDown, Raw. We're there. We literally give you sports how you want it, when you need it. Go to YouTube, put in the Flex Zone podcast, and you can catch me and the crew right there.
Hell yeah. Check that out. Flex Zone on YouTube. All of our stuff as well.
Do a shameless plug for my man True, who was just a guest on recently. So you guys want to check that out as well.
Yeah, it's funny that I was laughing because I seen the picture y'all used to promote the thing with Tony Khan with the neck brace on. I was like, hey, that's what we doing. That's what we doing. Glad you mentioned college basketball. Real quick, I'm pretty sure most people know I got the pleasure of covering the Cincinnati. They're now currently ranked 17th in the nation. The Cincinnati Bearcats against the Grambling State Tigers. Possibly we'll be also covering the Cincinnati Bearcats versus the Arizona Wildcats. Might see me at an Xavier University game as well, doing the DAR Sports and Media things. We might have to start covering hockey on here too, because I'm working on some connects there too. Like Flex Zone, they hustling, they doing their thing, man. These are my guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even know how long now. It's well over like a decade at this point.
At least 10.
At least 10 years. So, you know what I'm saying? Baltimore, obviously my home for real. So all my guys. Yeah, man, we it's so much happening right now, not just obviously with DAR Sports Media, but the Flex Zone. You got the hoop panel over there. Lee is always, I give Lee his credit. I'm gonna give you credit right now because I'm in a promotional move. I'm never give you credit ever again. So just right now. Lee be crushing it, man. He be on Twitter. He always keeps you up to date with like stats and just numbers and everything. It takes a hell of a lot of work to do that. I just want to think because the year's ending. The year's getting ready to end. It's been for me, if you know, it's been a hell of a year, but you know what I'm saying? We made it through, and right now things are looking up. Everybody crushing it. So I just want to take the time to say I appreciate everybody on this panel. I appreciate my guy Dre, Flex Zone. Shout out to my brother Apollo. Make sure you go check out DAR Sports Media on YouTube. He was working the Georgetown and Seton Hall game as well as the Gotham Classic. So we got some videos coming there. Shout out to Tev. He's putting up a bunch of shorts. It's just a lot of work that goes into it. So for 2025, you know what I mean? I think this is the last sports pod we're doing for 2024. So for 2025.
Well, unless y'all want to do a hoop hour on Monday night.
We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, man, I just like I said, 2024 was hell in many ways for a lot of us. The rough year, but I just want to say I appreciate everybody, and we going up even more in 2025. The sky's the limit at this point, and everybody know when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Sober Bible 6. Sorry, forgot. Sober Bible 6 still out. There's a possible another album. I'm in a whole new state right now, making new connects. Might be a whole another album coming. I might be working on. I can't talk about it right now. You know what I'm saying? But just the work don't stop. So, the work. I said the work was gonna pay off, and not gonna fucking wood. It's paying off. So
it is beginning to the Medium site, the music game, the YouTube channel. Fuck, man. Now, motherfucking. You're in the backstage. We got recovering games in person as well. It's pretty good chance I'll be doing some UFL, some IFL stuff myself this summer. So now we're in person. We're at the events. The Medium site's crushing it. The YouTube channel on the music side. I keep saying it. One of these days, y'all gonna listen. The word of DAR never stops.